Hi, welcome to Grade 5, Module 5, Lesson 4 in Math, Finding the Volume. Our lesson objective for today is I can use multiplication to calculate volume. Volume, the formula, is length times width times height. Length is how long, width is how wide, and the height is how tall. And as a little review, you've already done length times width when we were working with finding the area. So area is part of the volume formula. Let's start with our problem set 4. The first problem wants us to label each of the dimensions and then find the volume. So for number 1, it says the volume would be equal to the length times the width times the height. Our length, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Our width is 2. Our height is 2. And our formula, volume equals length times width times height. So I plug those numbers into our formula and I have 5 times 2 times 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is multiply my first two numbers. 5 times 2 is 10. And then 10 times 2 is 20. 20 centimeters cubed. Now it's cubed because I have 3 sides. Length, width, height. 3 sides, so it would be cubed. 20 centimeters cubed. Now, on this equation where I have 5 times 2 times 2, because in multiplication order doesn't matter, if I wanted to use my multiplication fact of 2 times 2 is 4, and then do 5 times 4, I would still get the same answer. So it doesn't matter which order you do them in, because in multiplication order doesn't matter. Let's move on to the next question. My length is 3. My width is 1, 2. My height is 1, 2, 3, 4. So to calculate the volume, 3 times 2 times 4. I am going to do the 3 times 2 first, which is 6, and 6 times 4 is 24 centimeters cubed. 24 centimeters cubed. And again, if my number sentence is 3 times 2 times 4, and you decided you wanted to do 2 times 4 first, that's fine. Now you have 3 times 8, which is also 24. Moving on to the third question. My length, 1, 2, 3, 4. My width is 1, 2. My height, how tall, 1, 2, 3, 4. When I go to plug in my numbers into my formula, 4 times 2 times 4. On this problem, I'm going to do 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 4 equals 32 centimeters cubed. So I put in my 32 centimeters cubed. So as you can see, this one was straightforward. It was just plugging the numbers into the formula. Volume equals length times width times height. Let's move on now to question number 3. It says calculate the volume of each rectangular prism and include the units in your number sentence. So the first rectangular prism has a length of 4, it has a width of 3, and a height of 4. So when I plug those numbers into my formula, I have length 4 times 3 times 4. I decided to multiply the 4 times 3 first. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 times 4 is 48. And don't forget your unit is inches cubed, because there's 3 sides. The next one, 3b, has 3 as the length, 2 as the width, 6 as the height. I plug those numbers into my formula, and I have 3 times 2 times 6. I decided to do the 3 times 2, which is 6, and 6 times 6 is 36, or 36 meters cubed. Number 4 says, Tyrone is constructing a box in the shape of a rectangular prism to store his baseball cards. It has a length of 10 centimeters, a width of 7 centimeters, and a height of 8 centimeters. What is the volume of the box? So I like to draw a picture and write down what the word problem said. I have a length of 10, I have a width of 7, and I have a height of 8. I plug those numbers into my formula. I have 10 centimeters times 7 centimeters times 8 centimeters. I decided to do the 10 times the 7 first, which gives me 70. And then I multiply the 70 times the 8. And what I did was, using mental math, I said 7 times 8 is 56. And using the math trick, I bring down the 0. So my answer turned out to be 560 centimeters cubed. Now, you could have also said, if you wanted to do it the other way, you could have done 8 times 7 is 56. And then using the math trick, using your tens, 56 times 10 would be 56, and add 1 0, which would also give you 560 centimeters. So, and also, in order to do volume, you really need to know your math facts. And number 5. Number 5 says, Aaron says he needs more information to find the volume of the prisms. Explain why Aaron is mistaken, and then go ahead and calculate the volume of the prism. So in question number 5A, it says that the area is 60 and the width is 5. And Aaron says, I can't figure it out because I don't have the 3 sides, which is what I need for volume, the length, the width, and the height. But we do have the area. And if you remember, area is already 2 of the sides multiplied together, the length and the width, or 2 of the sides. So this area that we have here already did multiply 2 of the sides. So since area has 2 of the sides, I only have to multiply it by the third side. So it would look like this. Remember, area was multiplying 2 sides. So in order for them to have gotten the answer of 60, they must have multiplied already the length and the height, because we already know what the width is. So they ended up getting 60 centimeters by multiplying the length and the height, or those 2 sides. Now I just have to multiply it by the third side. So I have to multiply 60 centimeters squared by 5 centimeters. So what I did was 6 times 5 was 30, and with my tens trick I added the 0. So I ended up with 300 centimeters cubed. Or if you don't like mental math, you could do the standard algorithm. 0 times 5, 0 times 5 is 0, and 6 times 5 is 30. So my answer still turns out to be 300 centimeters cubed. So you see, you can find the volume when you're given an area and one other side, because area is already 2 of the sides multiplied together, and if you're given the third, it can be calculated. So the last problem, they gave us the area of 20 and the height of 12, and since we just said that since the area is two sides already multiplied together, they already multiplied the length and the width, because those are the two that are missing. So since the area already took up the length and the width, all I have to do is multiply that area that they gave us by the height, the third number, and that would give me the volume. So again, with this problem, I did mental math. I said 2 times 12 is 24, and the math trick using my tens, I just put down the 0, and my answer is 240 inches cubed. This is how you find volume: length times width times height. You definitely need to know how to do your multiplication facts, but if you know your times table facts, volume is pretty straightforward. I hope you enjoyed my video, and I'll see you again.